The Śākya Republic, the world into which Prince Siddhartha was born.
Once upon a time, there existed a Śākya Republic between the 7th century BCE and the 5th century BCE. A small yet remarkable land of peace and tradition. This was more than 2,500 years ago. King Suddhodana was the leader of this independent republic clan, known as the Śākya Ganarajya. It was located in the southern foothills of the Himalaya, near the border of the present-day Nepal and India. It was generally considered prosperous, stable, and peaceful at that time. They were a prominent Indo-Aryan tribe during the Iron Age, with their capital at Kapilavastu, ancient Tilaurakot.
The true strength of our people rests not in the sharpness of our blades, but in the enduring kindness of our spirits.
The Śākyas proudly identified themselves as Kshatriya, the warrior noble class of ancient Indian society. Although autonomous, the Śākyas were under the influence of the powerful Kosala kingdom. During Suddhodana's time, Mahakosala was the king of Kosala Kingdom, which was one of the 16 Mahajanapadas, major kingdoms of ancient India. After Mahakosala, his son Prasenajit, Pali Pasenadi, became the king and was a contemporary and supporter of the Buddha.
Wisdom requires patience. Do not rush to judgment.
The Śākyas were eventually conquered by the kingdom of Kosala around the 5th century BCE. Unlike many kingdoms of the ancient world, the Śākyas did not have an absolute monarch. Their society was organized as a republic, governed by clans. Leadership was shared among noble families, and important decisions were made in the councils of elders. For the Śākyas, certain values were regarded as extremely important, which shaped their society and traditions.
They believed strongly in maintaining the purity of their clan, preserving martial honor, and protecting the prestige of their lineage.
Family heritage and reputation were matters of great pride.
Agriculture formed the backbone of the economy. Farmers cultivated rice and grains, and cattle played an important role in daily life. Trade routes also passed near the region, connecting the Śākya territory with larger kingdoms. Kapilavastu was the capital of the Śākya Republic. It was not a huge metropolis, but a modest fortified town surrounded by fertile farmland. Life here was relatively simple, centered around farming, family, and clan traditions. People followed ancient traditions rooted in the teachings of the Vedas. Though politically modest, this small community would become the birthplace of one of the most influential figures in human history, Gautam Buddha, whose teachings would shape spiritual thought across continents for millennia. King Suddhodana of Śākya clan married Māyā Devi. Queen Māyā was the daughter of King Anjana, a ruler of the Koliyas clan. It was a Kshatriya clan community whose capital was Devadaha.
Marriages within related clans, Śākyas and Koliyas, were common. Suddhodana's uncle had married into the Koliya family. Thus, Suddhodana and Māyā were close relatives within related clans. This marriage created a family alliance between the Śākya and Koliya clans, which were neighbouring Kshatriya republics, separated by Rohini River. In the royal city of Kapilavastu, King Suddhodana and Queen Māyā lived in the Śākya palace with great honour and prosperity.
One full moon night, an extraordinary event was said to occur. Sleeping in the palace, Queen Māyā had a vivid dream. She felt herself being carried away by 4 devas, or divine spirits, to a mythological lake Anotatta in the Himalayas.
After bathing her in the lake, the devas clothed her in heavenly clothes, sanctified her with perfumes, and adorned her with divine flowers. Soon after, a 6-tusked white elephant, holding a white lotus flower in its trunk, appeared and went round her 3 times, entering her womb through her right side. Finally, the elephant disappeared, and Queen Māyā Devi awoke. This event was interpreted as a highly auspicious sign that she would give birth to a great being, as the elephant is a symbol of greatness in Nepal.
She was expecting a child. She lived a pure life for herself and her unborn child.
As her parental home was Devadaha, the capital of the Koliya clan, she was travelling from Kapilavastu to Devadaha to give birth to her child. The road passed through forests, fertile plains, and peaceful villages. Not far from the proud city of Kapilavastu, along the way, the queen stopped in a beautiful garden filled with blooming trees and gentle breezes. This sacred place was known as Lumbini. It was here, beneath the shade of a sal tree, that the queen gave birth to a child who would one day change the spiritual history of the world as Gautam Buddha. And thus, in the shadow of the Himalayan foothills, began the story of a young prince whose path would lead far beyond the palace walls. And it all began here, in the small but remarkable world of the Śākya Republic. Because of this event, Lumbini later became one of the most important pilgrimage sites in Buddhism. Today, Buddhists around the world celebrate his birth during Vesak, also known as Buddha Purnima. According to traditional Buddhist accounts, about 5 days after the birth of Siddhartha Gautam, several wise priests, sages, and astrologers were invited by King Suddhodana to predict the child's future. The priests studied the child's physical marks and horoscope and made a famous prophecy. The child would become either a great universal emperor, Chakravarti king, who would rule the world with wisdom and power, or a great spiritual teacher who would renounce worldly life and become the enlightened one. Most of the priests gave this dual prediction. However, one sage named Asita is especially remembered. After seeing the baby, Sage Asita reportedly became emotional and declared that Siddhartha would definitely become a fully enlightened one, who would guide humanity to come out of suffering. A well-known part of the story says, Sage Asita smiled with joy because such a great being had been born. Then he wept because he was old and would not live long enough to hear Siddhartha's teachings. This prophecy deeply worried King Suddhodana, who wanted his son to become a powerful king rather than a wandering monk. Because of this prophecy, he not only shielded Siddhartha from all kinds of sufferings, but also surrounded him with the luxuries and comforts of a palace life. This event happened during the naming ceremony, which took place on the 5th day after his birth. What if a name could predict a person's destiny? More than 2,500 years ago, a prince was given the name Siddhartha Gautam. Gautam was his family lineage name. The name Siddhartha carried a powerful meaning. It is made from two words, Siddha and Artha. In Sanskrit, Siddha means accomplished or fulfilled, and Artha means purpose or goal. Together, the name Siddhartha means one who has achieved his goal, or one whose purpose is fulfilled. Later in life, Gautam Buddha truly fulfilled this meaning in a remarkable way by attaining enlightenment. He, out of great karuna, that is, compassion, taught the path to liberation, or nirvana, to the entire world. Thus he changed the spiritual history of the world.